Hello everyone, welcome to the English Echo. We're very happy you're here today. Today we're going to practice English together in a simple and relaxing way. I'm Sam.
And I'm Sophia.
We're happy you're here today.
Let's learn together.
So, today we're going to talk about some very important rules in English. But, we are not going to talk about grammar rules or spelling rules.
Right, no grammar today.
Yeah. Instead, we are going to talk about the hidden rules of human conversation. We are going to explore how to share your opinions and how to give advice without making people angry.
That is a really wonderful topic. I mean, these are the important rules of communication. Sometimes we really want to help a friend, we see them struggling, and we have a great idea to solve their problem.
Yeah, you just want to help.
Right. So we tell them what we think, but instead of being happy, well, they get defensive, they cross their arms and look upset. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh yeah, I have experienced that many times. It is a very common problem. Many English learners feel that way, and honestly, native speakers struggle with it too.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to be kind and helpful. You want to give good advice, but the other person feels like you are
Acting like a boss.
exactly. They feel like you are telling them what to do.
And when people feel like they're being controlled, their mind reacts defensively. They stop listening to your good idea. They just want to protect their freedom,
That makes perfect sense.
Usually your idea is not bad at all. The problem is the specific words you use. Small words can completely change the feeling of a conversation.
Right. So the problem is not my advice, but the way I deliver it. So, what are we going to do today to fix this?
Well, today we're going to look closely at 3 very common words in English. These words are should, could, and have to. We are going to learn the important rules for using them.
Okay.
When you understand the deep differences between these 3 words, you will become a much better communicator.
Those are very simple words. I think every English learner knows them. We use them every single day.
Yeah.
But you were saying they have like a hidden power that we don't think about.
Yes, they have a massive hidden power. They change who is the boss in the conversation. They change the level of pressure you put on your friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When you learn these important rules, you will sound kinder. People will listen to your advice without feeling stressed or angry.
That sounds incredibly useful for daily life. Let's start with the first word on our list, the word should. This is probably the most common way we share our opinions. When I think something is a good idea, I usually tell people they should do it.
That is exactly what should means. When you say you should, it carries a very heavy message. It means, I think this is a good idea for you and I expect you to do it.
Right.
It is direct, strong advice. It leaves very little room for debate.
Can you give a simple example of a time when it is perfectly okay to use should for direct advice?
Of course. Think about visiting a doctor. A doctor's job is to give you direct advice for your health. You go to the doctor because they know more than you do.
Yeah, that's true.
So a doctor will say, you should eat more vegetables. Or they might say, you should sleep 8 hours every night.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
In that situation, the doctor is the expert. The doctor is telling me what is good for me because they want me to be healthy. I don't feel angry when the doctor uses should. I expect it.
Yes, exactly. The power dynamic is clear.
Yeah.
And we also use the negative form for strong warnings. The negative form is shouldn't, which means should not.
Okay.
We use shouldn't when we think an action is a very bad idea.
So the doctor might look at my health results and say, you shouldn't stay up too late, or you shouldn't eat too much sugar.
Perfect examples. Shouldn't gives a clear, strong message that an action will hurt you. It is a strict warning. The doctor is trying to protect you.
But here's my question. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a friend, a brother, or a coworker. If I'm not an expert, can giving should advice feel a little too strong?
Oh, absolutely.
Because sometimes if I use should with my friends, I feel like a strict parent talking to a small child.
That is a brilliant observation. It can absolutely feel bossy. If someone didn't ask for your advice, should can feel very heavy.
Yeah.
It takes away their freedom to choose. It makes them feel like you think you are smarter than they are.
I actually have a good story about this. Let's say I have a friend who loves chocolate. He eats it every single day.
Okay.
I care about him, and I want him to be healthy. But if I walk up to him and say, you shouldn't buy chocolate, you should eat fruit instead, he will probably get angry. He might say, don't tell me what to do.
Yes, that is exactly how human psychology works. Your friend loves chocolate. When you give him that direct advice, it feels like an attack on his personal life.
Right. Right.
He doesn't hear your care. He only hears a strict rule. But, there is a very easy way to fix this in English. You can use a gentle phrase right before you give your advice.
What is the phrase? That sounds like an important rule to remember. I want to use it next time I talk to him.
The phrase is simple. It is, I think. When you add I think before your advice, it changes the entire feeling of the sentence.
Okay, so how does that sound?
Instead of saying the strict rule you should eat fruit, you say, I think you should eat fruit.
Oh, I see the difference. You should eat fruit. Sounds like an absolute fact. It sounds like a command from a king.
It's exactly.
But I think you should eat fruit. Sounds like my own personal feeling. It sounds like I care about my friend, but I am just sharing my thought.
Yes, it makes the advice feel much softer. It becomes a heartfelt, personal belief, not an aggressive command.
That's really nice.
It tells your friend, this is just my opinion, you can accept it or you can ignore it. It feels much more natural and respectful in everyday conversation.
I really like that. Adding I think is a great important rule for English learners. It softens the heavy weight of should. But what if I think you should is still too strong? What if I want to give advice without putting any pressure on my friend at all?
Well, that brings us perfectly to our second word. If should is direct and heavy, our next word is gentle, polite, and diplomatic. The word is could.
Could. How is could different from should? They sound very similar, but they must have a different feeling.
They have a completely different feeling. Should tells someone what they must do, but could simply offers a choice.
A choice.
Right. When you use could, you give the listener an option. You protect their freedom. They still have the power to decide for themselves.
I have an idea to explain this feeling. I like to think about going to a restaurant with a friend.
Okay, let's hear it.
Using should is like ordering the meal for someone else. I look at the waiter and say, my friend will have the chicken. He should eat the chicken. My friend has no choice in the matter.
That is a fantastic comparison. Yes, should is exactly like ordering for them. It might be a good chicken, but they didn't choose it. They might feel annoyed because you took away their freedom.
And using could is like handing my friend the menu. I point to the menu and say, look, you could have the chicken or you could have the fish. Both are good. I'm giving them options, but they are the boss of their own dinner.
I love that analogy. Handing someone a menu is very polite. It shows respect. When we use could, we are handing people a menu of ideas. Let's look at a daily life example.
Sure.
Imagine your friend comes to you and says they have a terrible headache.
Okay, so if I use should, I would say, you should go to sleep, or you should take some medicine. That sounds very strong. It sounds like I'm trying to fix them quickly.
Yes, it does. And maybe your friend doesn't want medicine. Maybe they just wanted to complain for a minute.
Right.
If you want to be gentle, you can use could. You might hand them the menu of ideas and say, you could try some hot tea, or you could rest your eyes for a minute.
You could try some hot tea. That sounds so soft, warm, and friendly. I am not telling them what to do. I am not being a boss. I am just offering a warm idea for them to think about.
Exactly. Could is the ultimate tool for offering low-pressure ideas. The other person can say, no, thank you, and nobody feels angry. This is especially useful when you are making plans with friends or family.
Oh, making plans can be very difficult. Sometimes family members argue because everyone wants to do something different. One person wants to go out, one person wants to stay home. How does could help with family plans?
It helps because nobody feels forced. Imagine you are planning the weekend with your family. You don't want to be the dictator of the house, so you offer choices. You say, we could go to the park, or we could stay home and relax.
That is very peaceful. Nobody is angry because nobody was told what to do. I'm just putting ideas on the table. We could watch a movie, or we could visit grandmother. Everyone gets to talk about the menu of ideas.
Yes, it works perfectly for dinner plans, too. If you are tired and don't know what to eat, you can say to your partner, you could make soup tonight, or we could order pizza.
You are helping to solve the problem, but you are sharing the power.
I would always choose the pizza, of course.
I think many people would. And there's another very important rule, a small trick, to make could even softer. You can add the word maybe at the beginning of your sentence. Maybe you could. Like maybe you could try the pizza. That sounds incredibly polite. It feels very safe. It gives the other person complete freedom to say no.
Yes, it preserves their autonomy. Autonomy means their right to choose for themselves. They can say, no, I don't want pizza today, and nobody feels bad.
That's wonderful.
Your feelings are not hurt, and they don't feel controlled. So remember, should is for strong advice, and could is for soft choices.
This is already very helpful for our listeners. We have the heavy should for when we are sure about something, and the gentle could for when we want to offer choices. But sometimes in life, we don't have a menu.
True.
Sometimes life doesn't give us choices. Sometimes there are absolute rules. What word do we use then?
Well, when there are absolute rules and strict necessities, we use our third phrase. It is two words put together, have to. When you use have to, it means the menu is gone. There's no choice. It is a strict obligation.
Have to? So this is for things that we must do, even if we don't want to do them, things we cannot change. Can you explain that with some daily life examples?
Certainly. Think about driving a car. The law is very clear. The law says you must wear a seatbelt to stay safe. So we say, you have to wear a seatbelt.
Right.
You don't have a choice. You cannot say, maybe I could wear it tomorrow. It is the rule today. That makes sense. Work is another very good example of this. My boss says that work starts exactly at 9:00 a.m. So I have to arrive at work before 9:00 a.m. I cannot choose to arrive at 10 a.m. just because I am tired.
Exactly.
You have to do it. The power belongs to the rule, not to you. And sometimes our daily life gives us rules too, even at home. For example, imagine you have a dog. Let's say his name is Max.
Okay, Max the dog. And Max wakes up every single morning at 7 a.m. Oh, I know this feeling very well. Max is jumping at the bedroom door. He wants to go outside immediately. He doesn't care if it is Saturday. He doesn't care if I want to sleep.
Right.
Max is making the rules. So you have to walk the dog at 7 a.m. It is a necessity. There's no other option unless you want a mess in your house. Okay, so have to is very clear. It means a strict rule that we cannot escape. But earlier, you told me there's something very surprising about this word. You said there is a hidden rule that confuses many learners. What is the surprising part?
This is where the English language gets really fascinating and where the important rules of conversation really matter. The surprising part happens when we make these words negative.
Negative, like saying not or do not.
Yes. Let's look at the negative of should first. Just to remember, we talked about shouldn't. If I say you shouldn't do that, it means it is a very bad idea. You must not do it.
Right. Like, you shouldn't eat old food from the fridge. It is a terrible idea. You will definitely get sick. It's a strong warning.
Exactly. Now, many learners think that the negative of have to means the exact same thing. They think don't have to means must not.
Oh, I see.
They think it is a strong warning, but it does not. This is a huge difference in English, and it changes how people feel.
Wait, let me slow down to understand this.
Yeah.
Don't have to does not mean must not. Then what does it mean?
Don't have to means that the rule is suddenly gone, the heavy obligation is removed. It simply means you have a choice again.
Oh, wow.
The menu has returned. You can do the action if you want to, but you are not forced to do it.
That is a massive difference in feeling. Shouldn't means it is a bad idea, stop doing it. But don't have to means you have the freedom to choose. Can we explore a simple story to show how this feels in real life?
Let's imagine a friend is having a big party on Friday night, but you had a very hard week at work. You're feeling very tired and stressed today.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
If your friend looks at you and says, you shouldn't come to the party, how do you feel?
I would feel very sad. You shouldn't come to the party. Sounds like my friend doesn't want me there. It sounds like my presence is a bad idea. It feels like a rejection.
Yes, it sounds very negative. It sounds like they're closing the door on you. But what if your friend looks at how tired you are, smiles, and says, you don't have to come to the party?
Oh, that feels completely different.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to the party sounds very kind and loving. It sounds like my friend is saying, it is okay if you stay home. I understand you are tired. Come if you want, stay home if you prefer. I feel free.
Exactly. It is a beautiful, kind release of pressure. You still have the choice. You can go or you can sleep. Another great example is at the workplace.
Workplace examples are always good.
Imagine you are working late on a big project. You are very stressed, and it is getting dark outside.
I know that stressful feeling very well. You are watching the clock, feeling the pressure.
Then your boss comes over to your desk. She looks at your hard work and says, you don't have to finish it today. Monday is fine. How does that make your brain and your body feel?
That would be a massive relief. I would probably take a deep breath and feel so happy. My boss is taking the strict rule away. I can pack my bag, go home, and rest.
Yes. Notice what she didn't say. She didn't say, you shouldn't finish it today.
Right.
If she said you shouldn't finish it, that would mean finishing it is a mistake or she doesn't want you to do it. She said, you don't have to. She simply removed the heavy pressure and gave you the choice.
This is such an important rule for English learners to understand. Mixing up shouldn't and don't have to can cause a lot of emotional confusion with friends and coworkers.
It really can cause misunderstandings. If you tell someone they shouldn't do something, they might feel hurt or rejected. But if you tell them they don't have to, they will feel relieved, supported, and understood.
I will definitely remember that feeling. So we have explored 3 very different levels of pressure today. Should is strong, direct advice. Could is a gentle, polite option. And have to is a strict, unchangeable rule.
That's a perfect summary.
But how do we put all of these important rules together in a real conversation?
We can synthesize these words. That means we can use them together like a team to communicate complex ideas clearly.
Okay, together like a team.
When you use all 3 words in one conversation, you give very effective, balanced, and wise advice. You sound like a great leader.
Can we practice this together? Let's use a topic that our listeners really care about. Learning a new language. Learning English is a big, difficult task for many people.
That is a perfect topic to practice with. If a beginner student comes to you and asks, "How can I improve my English quickly?" you can use all 3 words to give them a complete, helpful answer. Let's start with direct advice.
Okay. For direct advice, I will use should. I would look at the student and say, I think you should practice every single day. That is a strong, helpful opinion.
Very good. You added "I think" to soften it slightly, but it is still clear advice. But if you only use should, you might sound too strict, like a harsh teacher.
Right. I don't want to sound mean.
So next, you want to offer a soft option. You want to hand them the menu of ideas. What word do you use?
I will use could. I can say, you could try listening to a simple English podcast on your way to work. Or maybe you could read a short story before bed. This gives them friendly choices. They don't feel forced.
Excellent. Now, you want to tell them a hard reality about language learning, something that they cannot change. An absolute rule of the world. What do you use?
For an absolute rule, I will use have to. I would say, but remember, you have to be patient. Learning a language takes a long time. Your brain needs time to grow.
That is a beautiful piece of advice. You used the perfect combination. Let's look at the whole picture.
Okay, the direct advice. I think you should practice every day. The soft option. You could try listening to a podcast. The unchangeable rule. You have to be patient. Yeah, I see why that works so well in human conversation. Shifting between these 3 words makes the advice sound so much better. I don't sound like a dictator ordering them around, but I also don't sound too weak. I sound like a wise, supportive, and honest friend.
Yes, you do. You deliver a realistic opinion without overwhelming the other person. This shows that communication is not just about the raw information you share. It is about the linguistic container you put your information into.
Linguistic container. What does that mean in simple words?
It means the box you wrap around your ideas. Imagine your idea is a gift. The words you choose are the box. The information is the same, but the box changes how it feels to open it.
Oh, I love that.
Should is a box that advises strongly. Could is a box that offers a gift gently. And have to is a heavy box that makes a strict rule.
That is a wonderful, clear way to think about it. When we choose the right container, the right box, we help the listener understand our true feelings. We can show that we care, that we respect their freedom to choose, and that we understand the rules of life.
Exactly. You are mastering the important rules of human connection, and I want to leave all of our listeners with a small challenge for their conversations tomorrow.
A challenge. I always like a good challenge to practice my English. What is it?
I want you to pay close attention to your default settings tomorrow. What words do you naturally use the most when you speak to people? Are you overusing should? Are you unintentionally stressing out your friends, your family, or your coworkers by giving too many direct commands?
That is a great question for all of us to ask ourselves. Sometimes we don't realize how often we say, you should do this or you should do that. We might be making our family angry without knowing why.
So here is the challenge. Tomorrow, try a social experiment. What would happen to the dynamic of your relationships if you consciously replaced your shoulds with coulds for an entire day?
Wow. Just for one day, stop ordering the meal for people and start handing them the menu. Instead of saying to your child, you should wake up earlier, try saying, maybe you could try waking up earlier.
Yes, try it with everyone. See how people react to you. Notice if they feel more relaxed around you. Notice if they smile more or listen better when you offer them a choice instead of a strict rule.
I'm absolutely going to try that social experiment tomorrow. I think it will make a very big difference in my life. These simple English words really do have a hidden power to change our relationships.
They truly do have power, and the more you practice these important rules, the more natural they will become in your mind. You will find that sharing your opinions becomes easier, more peaceful, and much more enjoyable for everyone.
Thank you for listening to the English Echo.
Keep practicing English every day.
Small steps can make a big difference.
See you in the next episode.